And as people start to make it in to the webinar, I just wanted to invite everyone to put your name in the chat, your organization that you're with. Let us all know who's there, and definitely use the chat throughout. We want this to be as interactive as it can be. You all are off camera and muted for this, so that's it's not a mistake on your end. That's how we have it set up. But definitely use the chat a lot. Use the Q&A tab if you'd like, and we will have a Q&A at the end where we'll do our best to get all the questions answered. But yeah, see some names coming in the chat, so please keep doing that, and we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Okay, and out of respect for everyone's time, we'll go ahead and get started now. Thanks everyone so much for joining us today for the Food Plus Workforce Development webinar. I'm really excited to be joined by Earl and Nita from KC Scholars, Stacy from Literacy KC, and Ali from Pawsperity. They're going to have some really great unique perspectives on this work, really valuable stuff for us to be hearing about, especially right now, and I look forward to their insights a lot. So I am Nathan Howard. I'm the Food Plus program manager here at Harvesters. We also have Jessica Kerr here, who's the director of programs in Food Plus. She'll be kind of helping out, making sure everything runs smoothly. Again, just really happy to be joined by these great presenters. So for those of you who are just joining, cameras and mics are turned off for this. So again, nothing wrong on your end. Use the Q&A tabs or the chat functions, please, throughout. And we want to make this as interactive as possible. We will be answering questions at the end. For anybody who doesn't get their question answered or doesn't feel like they got it satisfactorily answered, please feel free to follow up with us after the fact. I know everybody here would be happy to engage with you. So we, in this webinar, hope to do a few things. One of them is just to kind of inform more on the relationship between employment and food security. For most of you on here, it's this is a review. You guys get it, you see it day in and day out. But we'll review how interconnected employment is with food security, as well as with other root causes of hunger, and then hopefully generate some ideas on the roles we are all uniquely positioned to play here. And then we're going to highlight some of Harvester's current Food Plus workforce partnerships, and then maybe cast a vision for what we can do as a network in the future. We acknowledge that many of you have been working in this space for much longer than we have. There's years of experience, I'm sure, within this webinar that, and so we definitely want to invite you into this journey for us as well to learn from you. We want to educate. Hopefully you walk away with having learned something. There are so many great resources in our community working to combat the root causes of food insecurity as well as poverty. And today you're going to hear from some of the leaders in workforce and skills development here locally. More than anything, though, I hope that you get some new connections. So the biggest goal of this webinar would be to create connections within our network, but then also with organizations that may be outside of the network, but are very much needed to do this root cause work that we're leaning into. So the dream is really of a community of highly connected resources working in tandem with one another towards the same goals. So Harvesters recently updated our mission statement. We mobilize the power of our community to create equitable access to nutritious food and address the root causes and impact of hunger. So with this updated mission statement, it's just a commitment to leaning more and doing a little bit more intentional work in addressing some of the root causes of food insecurity. Again, this work has been happening within the network for years. The mission statement just kind of reflects more intention behind these efforts. So each of these areas that you see here are areas that we're working in one capacity or another. Some of these we've been working in a little bit more deeply than others. The healthcare work has definitely been something that's growing over the years. Some newer work in addressing transportation barriers. A quick plug for, we did a transportation webinar on last Thursday with Ride KC and Bike Walk KC. For anyone that wasn't able to attend but would like to see the recording of that, that will be on the Harvesters Hub. If you don't have Hub access, feel free to reach out to me after this, and I'd be glad to send you over that webinar. Really great information from those folks on the transportation barrier. But today we will be focused on issues related to employment, unemployment, underemployment, and some skills that may aid in gainful employment. So the relationship between employment and food security is deep and just undeniable. But employment goes beyond just impacting food security, but it really touches on all these other areas as well. So the spending trade-offs that we see for people that are underemployed are often really difficult and terrible. And they just impact all these other areas so much. So lack of additional money leads to issues in housing, trade-offs with food, difficulties with regular transportation, making trade-offs and having to forego needed medications. And so we see that our network, people in our network, are constantly making these trade-offs every day. 49% of households in our network choose between paying for food or utilities. 40% have had to choose between paying for food and paying for medicine or medical care. And then 38% have had to choose between paying for food and paying their rent or mortgage. So not only do these does underemployment address these areas, but then it creates this vicious cycle where not having these resources makes finding gainful employment, higher employment, much harder. So all of these issues just lead to this vicious cycle of being more and more difficult. So the transportation barrier, KC as a whole is a very large and spread out city. And so people that have transportation insecurity or difficulties with having a regular vehicle have to rely on potentially foregoing jobs that may be maybe far away from them because they don't have access to that. Housing. So the reality of finding a job when you're not knowing where you're going to sleep, you don't know the address, you can't really plan for a day in the future, let alone a week or a month, is just really daunting. The role discrimination, stress, and trauma play in mental health, not to mention the impact those have when they happen in the workplace. And then the issues with healthcare. We know that food security leads towards health disparities. We see 38% of our households that we serve have at least one member with diabetes or prediabetes. 55% report at least one member with high blood pressure, 46% with high cholesterol. And when you think of these issues impacting somebody and their ability to be well, we also then think of what that does for seeking employment, trying to grow in your career just becomes all the more difficult. Not to mention not having a diploma or a degree. A felony conviction creates an additional barrier to employment. Not being a native English speaker, another one on top of that. So we just compound all these different issues, and we realize how difficult it might be for somebody to move up in their career. But hey, let's just get a job, right? It's just that simple. So I'm really excited to be hearing today from 3 organizations who understand that getting a job often requires so much more than this, and are really working to wraparound services to the people that they're serving, understanding that it takes a little bit of all of these to really promote success in their desired careers. So some of the current Harvesters Food Plus initiatives to strengthen workforce programs, these are all really through partnership, and I'm really happy that a couple of the key partners are on this call today. So through partnership, our Food Plus department is using food to aid in student success. And so that could be also SNAP outreach, nutrition assistance, and then also really trying to promote these workforce programs to our wider network of food pantries, kitchens, mobile food distributions, and seeing where they might fit in with those programs as well. So I have listed on here some of the Food Plus partners. We've got Literacy KC, who has been an early champion of this kind of work. Pawsperity is doing pretty much everything possible in terms of partnering with harvesters, really providing really deep wraparound services. We have Second Chance Risk Reduction, which I'd like to give a quick shout out to, that serves people who are recently incarcerated. And so really kind of tailoring their services to making sure that helping those folks find employment and then also success in their employment. And then on here as well as the Sewing Labs, which is going to be a new partner that we're bringing on to. I'm really excited, a great organization that I hope you all will check out as well. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it along to Allie with Pawsperity.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm guessing you can hear me okay. Okay, perfect. So yeah, my name's Allie. I am over admissions and recruitment here at Pawsperity. We used to be called the Grooming Project. So if you've heard of that, we're one and the same. We changed our name back in September. And so basically, I'm just going to be going over kind of how, the overview of our program here at Pawsperity and how harvesters really help support our students while they're here. So we can go ahead and head over to the next slide. So Pawsperity, we are a nonprofit here on 58th and Troost. And our main goal is to help people just break generational poverty through teaching them the trade of dog grooming. And I'm going to share with you guys a quick video from our CEO, Natasha, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of background on who we are.
My mom was a dog groomer in Iowa, and I knew how much money she made and how flexible her schedule was so that she could take care of us kids. So I paired my work with homeless families with this trade, and that's how we came up with the Grooming Project. The human-animal bond is a very critical component of why we are successful. Most of our students are coming from backgrounds of severe trauma, leaving them with anxiety, and working with animals and dogs in general helps to reduce that. Dogs don't care if you have a felony on your record or if you don't know how to read. And the pet industry has grown to be a $100 billion field. The training program is 644 hours of hands-on training. This covers pet handling and safety, bathing and brushing, customer service, clipper work, and scissoring. Then we pair that with life skills, so budgeting, parenting, emotion regulation, and professionalism at the job. There's a lot that they're trying to unpack, a lot of barriers that they're dealing with, anywhere from housing obstacles to legal obstacles. And so that's why we have volunteers that are dentists and lawyers, as well as 80 partners in the Kansas City community area that help fill in these missing pieces for our students. When our students graduate from the program, not only do they know that they've worked really hard, 40 hours a week for the past 8 or 9 months to do what it takes to change the life for their family, but they're offered 3 or 4 different jobs. And they're used to being rejected from jobs to the point where they even gave up on trying. And now they're seeing that they are in demand. And that just really lifts their self-esteem. The barriers our students face are complex, but our intentions are simple. It's about grooming, love, and hope.
So, like Natasha said, oh, I think we skipped one. Oh, okay, sorry. I thought that the next one was, anyway, so like Natasha said, so we basically we have wraparound services here. So one of the main things that makes our school very special is that we have case management on site. So that case management aspect allows us to help our students navigate whatever barriers might be coming up while they're in school. We have one-on-one weekly check-ins with Leah, our case manager, and then that also just allows our students to be able to, find different resources out in the community that might help them, like Harvesters and Legal Aid and just other organizations that our case management can now connect our students to while they're in the program and take with them even once they leave the program as well. We're really just here to support them. And I always say our case management team is kind of just like that soundboard for our students while they're coming through the program, just helping them be encouraged along the way, because the program is it's long. It's 644 hours, so it's a lengthy program, but that case management aspect is just there to help guide them through that. So we can go on to the next one. And then so our soft skill classes. So soft skills are on Monday. Mondays are from 9 a.m. to noon. And those soft skills, again, those partnerships that we have. So, we have the partnerships too, but then we talk about communication, we talk about time management. A lot of times, our students, they're equipped with the skills, the grooming skills, but once they get into employment, we saw a big need for those soft skills. So that's why we implemented those classes on Monday. So it's just a half day. So, they can work on professionalism. We have parenting classes. We have growth mindset and budgeting. And then we can go ahead and head on to the next slide. And then we also have our partnerships. So again, Harvesters being a big one. We have a partnership with First Federal Bank. They offer all of our students second chance banking, which I think is just a huge thing because a lot of times, with credit building, and we talk about the importance of home ownership and having a savings and a checkings account. A lot of our students, they come to us and they don't have a savings or a checkings account. They don't even have, someone that they bank with locally. And so that's just something that we're able to implement for our class or for our students. That is just so important. And I do want to talk, I think I missed a slide somehow because I want to talk about the overview of our program really quick. So I apologize. So our program is 644 hours. And it is Monday through Friday. So Monday like I said, are those soft skill classes. And then Tuesday through Friday, that's when they're actually down in the grooming salon. And like Natasha said in that video, it is a hands-on learning experience. So day one, they are working with the dogs. The program, like Natasha also said, the dogs, they don't care if you have felony on your record. We are felon friendly and there is no GED required in order to be a part of our program. And so we like to say that we're all about second chances, and that's also where our partnerships come in. Everyone that we partner with are also all about second chances. They don't see where our students have been, they see where our students are going. And I think that's so crucial because, everyone here, they're trying to move their life forward. And this, coming here to Pawsperity, we're really just helping to propel them forward, but in a financial way. Our graduates, they come out making about $45,000 a year, which is a life-changing income right there. And, those partnerships that we have and, the case management that we have here are just to help them, assist them along the way. Those budgeting classes, we're teaching them how to budget now with, they get a weekly stipend. It's $125 a week to come to school. The students also, they don't pay anything to come to school here. And so we're teaching them, okay, how can we budget, what we have, coming in now, so that when we get to that $45,000 a year income, we can, budget that as well too. And so basically, so like I said, our program, Tuesday through Friday, while they're coming to school, it's a hands-on learning experience. So they start with basic clipper work. There's 6 levels in the program. So starting with, bathing, brushing, nail trimming, moving on up to, the full grooms. We see the poodles walking around with those, wonderful haircuts. And so they get into the scissor work and the clipper work and really getting to kind of express themselves too through the dog. A lot of our students, they have that artistic, background kind of already, and they're really able to express that throughout, through the dog. And so I think that just adds a special little touch. And, we talk about the human animal bond all the time as well. When I see this every day, students, they're having a bad day. It's just not like, it's just something's happening, but they come in and they get that, they see those dogs and they get around the dogs, and it just really just lifts their spirits. As a dog owner myself, I know I can go home and my pups, no matter what kind of day I have, they're going to be there wagging their tails and ready to greet me. And so, and they get that every single day when they're coming in, into school and for the rest of their, career in dog grooming. And so back to, the partnerships really quick, our partnerships are just so key for all of our students. And we can go ahead and head to the next slide. And I want to touch on harvesters specifically. So in this picture, so Kane, I think he's on this slide, so shout out to Kane. So he does nutrition classes, and he comes in twice every 8 weeks. And he does a nutrition class for all of our students so that they can learn about the importance of, having a good, healthy meal, meal prepping, and also just learning, the basics of just kind of cooking in the kitchen and learning how to take what we have in our pantry that's stocked by harvesters and actually go home and cook a meal for their family. They'll make, I know I've seen them make muffins, making smoothies and some cookies and stuff. And our students always, anytime there's food involved, that just makes everyone happy. And so we always love having Kane come in and teach just about the importance of nutrition and having healthy meals while they're, coming through the program to keep them sustained, but also, taking that home and teaching their kids as well. So we can go to the next one. And then I just wanted to show everyone our kitchen. So this is, we just moved into a new space. So if you don't know that, we just built a brand new facility. And so this is our kitchen now, where our students can come and they basically breakfast, lunch is provided, and there's always things for them to take home for dinner as well. And, the food aspect things, it also just brings our students together. Our students, they really just congregate in the mornings and at lunch, and they just sit down, have conversations, get to know each other. And I love how food does that. The food just brings everyone together. And I love that we have this space now here where our students can do that. They can have those conversations and also, like I said, get filled up, so that they're on a full stomach before they go and start their day, learning and, being hands-on with the dogs, because it is, a very intensive program. So we want to make sure that they're, filled up and ready to go. And so, yeah, that's the kitchen. And then this is our pantry. So Harvesters helps us stock our pantry. And if you ever saw our space before, our pantry used to be a closet. So this is just, kind of like a dream pantry, I think. You walk in, we have a full fridge, freezer, lots of snacks for the students to grab. Like I said, breakfast, lunch, and then food for them to take home, eggs, fruits, vegetables, ground beef, chicken, I mean, you name it. And literally, our students can name it, and we'll make sure that it gets picked up. We have a grocery list that our students can fill out. We also go to Costco when we can and pick up those things that might not be provided. And so, whether that's protein shakes because, or whatever the case may be. We want to make sure that our students know that they can come, and if they have a need, that we're going to do everything that we can to fill it, whether it's food or whether it's they need some new shoes, they need whatever. We have a great volunteer coordinator, and she just does everything that she can to make sure that our students have everything that they need in order for them to be successful. Our number one goal here is to get students to graduation and get students into employment. And so we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that that is what happens. So we can go to the next slide. I also want to talk about, Dave is in the top right-hand corner. We call him our number one volunteer. He is from Harvesters, and he is always here at Pawsperity, helping us out. Whether you walk through the door with your dog, he will be there to greet you in the mornings. And then we also, he goes to Harvester's shopping floor every Monday. And this is something that we kind of just started implementing, and we've gotten great feedback from our students. So the Harvester shopping floor is just a lot of fresh produce, and Dave will go on Mondays, and he will bring back pounds of food for our students. And we lay everything out, just kind of making it like a whole grocery shopping experience for our students. So when they get out of soft skill classes on Mondays, we have our grocery bags, and the students can walk around and just shop. And then we'll bring stuff out of the pantry too, and really just line it up, just to make and it becomes more inclusive too. So no one, we're trying to make it like an experience now, because we've noticed that our students, when everyone's doing it, it's just normalized. And so we're just trying to normalize like taking food and bringing things home. Like, that's a good thing. Like, we want you guys to take this. And so, now that we're able to have, Dave bring that food on Mondays, our students are getting their fruits and vegetables, I think that's like the first thing that goes. And so the salad kits and and the ice cream. Occasionally Dave will snag a couple things of ice cream, and that'll definitely go quickly. But overall, I mean, Harvesters just really help support our students in a huge way while they're coming to school here. And they just play a big role in, in everything that we're doing here. We're here to support our students, but Harvesters, they're able to support us and support us as an organization, so that we're able to support our students better as well. And so that's something that I really appreciate, and I know everyone here at Pawsperity really appreciates too. And we can head over to the next slide. And so, yeah, I just want to say thank you to Nathan for putting on this event, and just for everything that Harvesters does for Pawsperity and for our students and their families. I did put the website on here, so if you know of anyone that would be interested in joining our program, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Pawsperity.org is where you can submit a student application, and all my contact information is on there too. And I think it's going to be somewhere on here. I can put it in the chat as well. But yeah, that's just a quick little overview, and I'll pass it back to you, Nathan. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Allie. That's wonderful. And you hit on all the things that I was going to say, so I'll keep mine brief here. Pawsperity's been a wonderful partner, and it's exactly what we're talking about. We do the food component so that they can do what they do really well, and just really, really happy to work with them. Really, really great stuff. And they are very excellent at taking care of all the needs that their students have, and really understand what is needed for them to be successful. So going from Pawsperity, which has been a partner with us for a while, to KC Scholars, which is kind of a newer partnership that we're exploring, that we've started, and really excited to have Earl and Nita here with us today to share about KC Scholars and all the great resources available to our community. So I'm not sure which of you is going to start, but Nita, Earl, please feel to
great to be with you. Great to be with you today, and thanks for having us, and thank you for exploring a partnership. Nita is going to lead us through our kind of overview of KC Scholars and our newest program called Great Jobs KC. Nita?
Hello there. Thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here today with everyone. And so I'm going to jump right in and share with you all some wonderful things that's happening here with KC Scholars. Initially, I just want to tell you a little bit about who we are. We're KC Scholars. We're a not-for-profit organization, and we were established in 2016. Our mission is to increase the post-secondary education and credential attainment of low and moderate income adults, and to significantly impact the number of Kansas Cityans who secure family-sustaining careers. In short, we really want to make sure we have opportunities, we help create opportunities for people in the community to have family-sustaining income. Now, how does that happen? We have 2 core programs. One of the wonderful things is the 2 core programs is really simple. We've given away over 500 college scholarships up to $50,000 that's been awarded annually. The other program is Great Jobs KC, which provides access to fully funded skill-based training programs. Would you like to add anything?
What's interesting is with the scholarships, all you have to do is be 17 or older. So we have high school juniors, but we also have people who are 32 or 52 who have decided that they want to go back and get a degree at one of our 17 colleges or universities here, and we partner institutions here in Kansas and Missouri. And then with Great Jobs that you'll hear more about, it really is a workforce development training program, much like was shared with Pawsperity, soft skills training that leads to occupational skills training that lead to jobs that pay $45,000 to $85,000 per year. And Nita will tell you a little bit more about that.
Go to the next slide, please. And so we have a wonderful video we like to share with you all, working to change lives. Could you play that?
We got to tell you about this new program by KC Scholars, investing in adults who might be underemployed, just want to change their lives. So Daniela Leon is here to talk about Great Jobs KC.
Yes, I love this program. So let's talk about it. Let's break it down for you. It can help more than 30,000 people, Lindsay, living within Kansas City and surrounding areas. And so far, it started back in October. 272 people have taken advantage of it. And the hustle is real, right? What about getting to the program and all that stuff?
Right.
Well, KC Scholars helps with resources for transportation and childcare needs, so you at home can be part of this program. So now, Kansas City and Lindsay, I want you guys to meet Mario Myers. He's one of those 272 people who have taken advantage of this program. Mario had a lawn care business, but because of inflation and other financial obstacles, he wanted to steer his life in a new direction and get his CDL. Now, this program helped pay for his training at the New Reflections Technical School, and now he has job interviews lined up with salaries that are double what he was making.
For me, this impact my family in so many ways. I'm able to now focus on not just Christmas. I'm focusing on taking my family out of certain situations. The area that I'm living in right now is growing to be a better area, but I know that it's better areas out there that I could put my kids into for their schooling, for their future.
So here's a look at the Great Jobs KC program within the KC Scholars website. You can go through eligibility requirements. You do have to make less than $45,000, be 18 and older, and live within certain counties. And once you go there, it'll take you through the application process. And guys, look at this. It's less than 11 questions long and should take more than 10 to 15 minutes. So if this is you, I want you guys to drop what you're doing and take out your phone. Here's your chance to be part of this program. You can scan that QR code right now that is up on your TV screen and take advantage of this program if you're eligible.
Taking away so many barriers to entry
people
for this,
they think they can make.
Think about the ripple effects that could have just in this community. Thank you very much, Daniela.
What's been neat since that video aired in December is we now have over 1,100 adults who are participating in occupational skills training, and we have another 4,000 that are getting ready to start their soft or professional skills training. So we're really excited about having the support of Kauffman Foundation that allows us to really serve as many adults as are interested in earning a better career.
Absolutely. So what is Great Jobs KC? It really is a short-term skill-based career training program that leads to paying 45 to 85,000 a year plus benefits. And so that's the amazing part about it, is that once you get into a certain income bracket, there's a lot more things, perks that go along with it.
And we encourage families to apply. So if you're 17 or you're 18-year-old and just came out of high school, but you have an older brother or sister, or you have an aunt and uncle, or mom, dad, grandparent, we love seeing families come through as well, because when you put together two, $50,000 salaries, all of a sudden now you have the economic stability that will really allow you to have the life that you desire, at least economically.
Absolutely. Thank you, Earl. Who is this for? Great Jobs is for anyone 17 and above, like Earl said. If your income is under 45,000, if you're looking for an alternative besides going to college and you're a high school student, and then there's also some county requirements. And so if you live in Missouri, Jackson, Cass, Clay, or Platte, and if you live in Kansas, it's Wyandotte and Johnson.
There are 20,000 high school seniors right now that are preparing to graduate across those 6 counties, and kind of the rule is 50-50, which is 50% of high school graduates choose college and choose a degree pathway, and we want to support them with our college scholarship if that's their path, and 50% are going to choose careers, and we want to make sure that they have access to a tuition-free training program that gets them the job that really, coming out of high school, if you can make $50,000, you're in really, really good shape, and you can come back anytime. So if you enter as a CNA, for instance, or on a health track, you can come back and get a credential 6 months later, and you can go into medical records, phlebotomy, even a nursing program. And so we just want to stick with you until you're happy where you are economically.
And so one of the things that we've done is really taken the time to do the research to find out exactly what careers are in high demand. And what we found to be true is that there's 4 areas here, and there may be more. We're going to explore that as well. And it's healthcare, IT, manufacturing, and construction. And so when you look across this list, there's a long list of possibilities. And so in some cases, you may look at this and say, well, I don't know what some of this stands for. Well, we have an amazing thing that we have is also we have our scholar advocates that will stick with you from the time you apply until you complete your program in a year into your career. And so here's some of the benefits of joining us at KC Scholars and with Great Jobs KC. Yes, it's fully paid. The trainings are all fully paid, but we also connect you to wraparound services. And that's where our scholar advocates then become partner with you, and they build a relationship with you where you can now share with them things that's happening in your life to make sure we can eliminate any possible barriers. There's also ongoing support. There's the post-completion support, there's alumni services, career services, and so it's just a complete package of what you get with us. And we're looking at you holistically as a person, and not just as, a person we're going to stick in school or into a training program and then let you figure it out. We're going to walk alongside you.
Nathan highlighted at the top of our program on terms of the importance of wraparound services. And we have right now 71 community partners. So if you are struggling with childcare, if you're obviously struggling with nutrition, if transportation is a barrier to your success, or you can't pay for utilities, or housing's becoming unaffordable, we have partners that help with all those things. So really kind of knocking down those barriers that allow our scholars to get into the training programs, stay focused, and then secure that family-sustaining job.
And so to the partner agencies that's online, that's listening in, you're wondering, well, how can we work together? Well, I have a plan. I've been thinking about that. And so Great Jobs KC has flyers that we can make sure you have, and they can go in the boxes to your families as you're doing your distributions. We can also make sure the flyers uploaded electronically, so then you can add flyers to your website if you have newsletters or social media, any way that you communicate with your families, text messages. And then, of course, we have several of our team members that already volunteer in the community. I volunteer a couple of times a month. Several of our staff members do as well. In opening the door and inviting us to come to your site, we're happy to sign people up on site. Right there, while you all are putting food in cars, we can sign people up. Or if you need help with us actually putting food in cars, we could do that too. So we're excited and we're eager to work alongside of you all. We know this is a tremendous benefit in the community, and we want to make sure we can get it in front of as many people as possible, because we know that there's a lot of hurting people out there that you're already helping, and then we can just come alongside of you and work with you as well. I don't have anything else to add. Nathan, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That's amazing, amazing information. It I love my job right now, but I'm kind of makes me curious that maybe I should check out some of these. This really good resources, and I know I love how you tied it together with how you can partner with the network. Our network's always looking for, how does this connect to what we do? I want a resource that I can give to people today or tomorrow, and I really think this partnership will be really great resource for the network. So now I'm going to pass it over to Stacy, who's going to be going old school. She doesn't have any slides, so she's just going to talk to you like human beings. So Stacy, it is all yours.
Well, afternoon, everyone. I am Stacy with Literacy KC. Nathan, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Literacy KC, but Literacy KC is located at 3036 Troost. And we offer several things, so I'm going to throw a few things at you right now. One thing we do provide is an English language course. We help students with English, so we have students that come in and may speak French or Spanish. We do have a location where there's classrooms and they're being taught from the beginning to the end till they walk out of there, and then they're bilingual. Then that makes them even better of a choice when it comes to looking for jobs, right? We also offer college and career readiness. We will provide resources to lead you in the right direction. Whatever it is that you think you might want to do, we're going to lead you and provide that resource for you. We also provide basic computer skills. We have a little lady here named Miss Mary Kay, and she loves to teach people the basic skills of computer. Some of us old folk like myself, I'm still having trouble with computer skills. So if you know of anybody that needs help with that, please send them our way. Mary Kay is wonderful, okay? We also provide high school, well, we call it high set. Okay, for us, the folks that have graduated high school diploma, same equivalency. I'm a little tight-tongued, so excuse me if I don't say anything, if I say something wrong. But we do provide high set. And what's fun about the high set program is there are all other types of things that you can be involved in while you're in the high set program. One, take advantage of me and myself with Kevin White. Kevin and myself as a connection coach, we're part of the workforce development team. And Kevin's position is a student advocate. Kevin helps with food, utilities, clothes, hearing aids, glasses. We've had so many students that walk in and they can barely see the screen. And that's not good. How do they learn if they're not able to see the screen or they're not able to hear the instructors? So Kevin has programs that he is working with that provide these barriers. They call them barriers, right? So that they don't have any barriers when they come in. The food deal, we have seen students that come in the mornings, afternoons, they're hungry, their stomach is growling, but harvesters always take care of us. We always have some type of food and snacks in our student kitchen. Yes, we have a student kitchen. And we provide all the food that we get from harvesters. We let it sit out so that they can grab as they come, and hopefully they'll be able to focus and they won't have any barriers against them. We also provide certification programs like a CNA program, forklift certification. That's OSHA, by the way. Commercial and domestic sewing. Oh my goodness, guys, the sewing lab is so amazing. I tell you, I wanted to take a class myself after walking through that sewing lab. It was so awesome, right? We also have a Serve Safe Kitchen Manager and Food Handlers permit as well, and a pre-apprenticeships in the trades as well. So guys, if you know of anybody that is looking for CNA programs, the forklift programs, I'm telling you, it's a great program. And then your girl Stacy is waiting for them to graduate so I can help them find a job. Connections coach is a new position for me, so I have to make it my own. I would love to build relationships with all of our businesses around the city so that we can work together to help our community. And Harvesters has done that for me. Guys, I was literally having a candid conversation with Nathan about how I noticed the students that come in hungry. And Nathan literally said, oh, I've been thinking about putting together workforce and harvesters together so that we can all work together. And I'm not kidding. 2 weeks later, it was on the calendar. He had it already ready. So I'm excited about this. If anybody does not have my information or Kevin's information, I'm going to give you my phone number, which actually is it's an all-around phone number. So you can get in touch with any of us with this phone number. All right. And I'll also put it in I also put it in the chat too as well. Okay, so let me see. If you know of anybody, I have my little notes here. Oh, I wanted to give you guys a fun fact. All right, you see on the screen here, you have the logo of Literacy KC. Well, that logo means something. There's 4 colors, right? And the 4 colors, the red is staff, the yellow is students, the blue is donors, and the purple is volunteer/community. Isn't that cool? And then the 4 colors also represents 4 books. Those are 4 books there. Those books are reading, digital skills, math, and writing. How cool is that? And then that open door right there, that's just the open door to opportunity. We open the door for all opportunity, right? We love it. We love it. So I wanted to share that fun fact about Literacy KC because nobody knows that. And so you know it now. So when you see it, you'll be able to tell someone else, right? Also, Nathan had mentioned the English language, no diploma, felony conviction. These are things that we help with. English language, boom, that's 1 off your list, Nathan. No diploma, boom, 2 off your list, Nathan. That's something that we provide. On the felony convictions, I have found several positions that people are felony friendly as well. So if you have anybody that's on the felony end that's having trouble, they can also reach out to me as well, and we'll be able to help on that as well. So I love that Second Chance program, that Risk Reduction Center. I love that. I'm going to keep that in mind for my new people too as well. So I think that's about it, Nathan. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Wonderful, wonderful, Stacy. I always love to hear from you. You are so fun to be around. We hung out yesterday too, so this is 2 days in a row together. So yeah, now I wanted to open it up. We have about a little over 10 minutes for Q&A, so feel free to start putting things in the chat. You can also, there's a Q&A tab as well, but anything that's coming through the chat, feel free. I think they've given a lot of really good tangible resources today of things that you can do to connect. I would definitely recommend to follow up. I see everybody's contacts starting to come through. The following page, I'll have a contact slide too. I would definitely recommend connecting with any one of these. They all come at it from very slightly different angles. But again, to the same ends, really trying to create thriving wages in our community, getting out of the generational cycle of poverty, really creating healthier, more thriving community. So I have a couple questions. I'll just start to get it kicked off. When we touched on some of the barriers to employment and some of the things we addressed throughout the presentation, but for any of you that have thoughts on this, what would you like to see to kind of make good employment more attainable for folks in the community? Any thoughts that you have on that?
I think
Sure, I
something,
think, go ahead, Nita.
well, something I've been thinking about is when we talk about eliminating barriers, it's also like eliminating the um, sometimes the hoops that people have to jump through in order for them to, you know, get into workforce. Um, and and that's something that I think KC Scholars, Great Jobs KC has done a really good job and is continuing to do the work to make sure people feel really supported, that they feel like there's a little QR code that was at the end of the presentation. It's quick, it's easy, it takes a few minutes, and there's no hidden questions that's going to come that could then stop them from being able to obtain it. If they fill it out and they're interested, then we're there.
I think employers also, if they can look a little bit in the mirror and review job descriptions, a lot of times qualifications, 3 years experience, bachelor's degree required for positions that really don't require that at all. In fact, just need the skill. So I think that's a big barrier for many. Some people don't even feel like they have a chance to go for that job because they don't have those criteria that really aren't pertinent to the success in that piece. So I think that's another part. And then just making the business community a welcoming place for all. And that's something that everybody's trying to do. And there's been a lot of talk, obviously, about DEI in the wake of George Floyd's murder. But that's something that we still need to do to make sure that the workplaces are welcoming for all.
I love that. Thank you both for those answers. I see it's a comment that came up in the chat, but Catherine was just saying that she would love to see more transportation options in Johnson County, such as expanded bus routes. And I know you all can't necessarily directly discuss bus routes or things like that, but and again, a plug to tune into Ride KC webinar talking about transportation issues in the area, and there are some good resources there, along with some more within the Kansas City area around bike share and some of those programs for folks that don't have reliable car access. But I wanted to ask Nita or Earl about some of the transportation supports you all mentioned earlier on to potentially kind of address that issue that Catherine brought up.
Well, I'll definitely be, I've already sent you a note so that you can send me the webinar so I can see exactly what solutions are coming out there, because this is an infrastructure question. And so an infrastructure piece that we can contribute to, but we've been looking at while hopefully the city's working to improve the infrastructure issue. We've been looking at, would a group like Lyft, would a group like Uber give 500,000 rides to nonprofits in the area to help folks get to Literacy KC and back, to help folks get to Pawsperity and back as well. So that's another piece, which is, obviously you hope the government can solve an infrastructure issue. It certainly has done a phenomenal job. When we wanted to bring the World Cup here, we built an airport, right? Because that infrastructure had to be here for this to come, for the draft to come. We built a massive stage that required millions and tons of infrastructure to be built. So we clearly, as a city, have the ability, when so motivated, to build the infrastructure. So we want the government and private sector to do that. But if not, how do we work directly with the private sector to help solve this in the short term? And would somebody like an Uber or a Lyft, donate 1 million rides to Kansas Cityans to get to work?
Thank you. I love that. Yeah, and especially hitting on the airport and the draft and all that. It speaks to, I think, our advocacy and policy efforts too, and what we can do. One of the things that we're really trying to do as a network with Harvesters is mobilize the power that we have collectively as a network of 800 plus partners in our service area, and so coordinated efforts around things like advocacy and policy could be really powerful in changing some of these issues, at least having our voices heard, and even more importantly, the voices of the people who we serve day in and day out, having them heard as well. So love that response. I have another question. So you hit on some of the areas. You obviously, KC Scholars did some research on the areas that are hiring right now, areas you wanted to focus in. What do you see coming down the pipes, if anything new in the coming months, the coming years, in workforce development as well as employment?
Well, we know that with the World Cup coming, the police force is already short-staffed, and with all the hundreds of thousands of people who will be coming to see the World Cup and experience that here, they're looking to hire, I believe it was somewhere between 2,000 or 3,000 additional. And it's not all police force, right? You need somebody to respond to the 911 call. You need XYZ, and so that's one place that certainly there will be an uptick. The health industry, just, one health system alone has 1,500 openings. And that ranges, yes, doctor, nurse, but there is the phlebotomist, there is the medical records, there is the construction worker, there is the transportation, right? You need all these positions. There's the lawyer, there's the HR, there's marketing department. There are all these positions within health systems that if you can get into that one, given the great health center that we have here, that's a great one for folks to look at as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yeah, I noticed there's a couple of healthcare partners that we work with on here as well too. So good connection there as well. So I'm going to just advance to the contact slide here, just so everybody has time to get those down. I believe they were in the chat as well. So want everybody to make sure they know how to reach out to each of these organizations. But I also wanted to give, we have 4 minutes left. I wanted to give any of you a few minutes if you had any final thoughts, anything you wanted to, impress on the network. So I'll turn it back to you if anybody has any final thoughts.
I just appreciate you all who came tonight or today and was here to learn more about what KC Scholars has to offer, as well as, Pawsperity and Literacy KC. I think us all working together and working to continue to promote what Harvesters is doing, as well as all the other things that's available in the community. This is, to me, it's huge, and it's an opportunity for us all to kind of pull together what we need and what people in our community need. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much, Nita. And I would say a quick plug to everybody who's also watching this later, days down the road or weeks on the recorded version too. Please connect. Also, doors wide open. I feel like confident I can speak for all the presenters here. They genuinely want to engage with you, and so feel free to reach out to everyone. And thank you so much for joining us. And again, I hope this is just the first conversation of many like this. We want to see these relationships as continuing for a long time, and our role in providing food. It also, in order to really do that work well, we need to be thinking of all the other areas that the folks we serve need. And so really appreciate these conversations, and stay tuned for future conversations like this down the road. So thanks again. Big thanks to Nita, Earl, Allie, Stacy. You all are amazing, great information, and just really appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you.